This video may raise some arguments, so firstly, I want to clarify that I respect all forms of art, but this video is for tips to encourage rethinking and positive debates. And this video is not for beginners. There are 3 sections that I wanna give tips upon. The first one is how to find shapes, and secondly, how to master color theory. And finally, I'll talk about how do you do details. So, about finding a shape, firstly I want to say that do not rely on your pencil measurement method. I went to art classes in the University of Melbourne before. The first thing they taught us was to use your pencil to measure the proportion of the object of your painting. And I also read it several times from art books as well. When they ask you to raise your arm straight and hold a pen and use one eye to measure like how long the object is, I definitely do not support that. What? Wait, let me explain. Only if you are growing to be a professional artist. What makes artists are their eyes. Simply as that. You have unique, rather pleasing way to see the world. Not a number on a ruler, not a lens on your pencil. But I guess someone can say, what about I just want to be accurate? What about I just want my drawing to be realistic? Okay, I understand about accuracy, but leave alone realism. They are 2 different concepts. You can say your calculation is accurate, the proportion you measured and copied on your piece of paper is accurate. It's a number. So what is realism? In short, realism is an art form that started trending from Enlightenment. It pursues naturalism and passions about the beauty of lives. Therefore, can you see a person looks accurate to you? People taking selfies and photos for others all the time. Do you call the photos realism? But painting, believe me or not, moves with time even though it doesn't change by sight. Therefore, my point is using your eye to observe the object rather than measuring every single thing. Imagine you painting a bouquet. Will the bouquet stay the same after days when you're working on it? No, it won't. They will slowly wilting. The proportion changes. So your measurements that you've done at that second, it doesn't apply anymore. In this illustration footage, I'll show you how I draw to color in different methods. You can see when I'm drawing using the pencil measurement method, it's taking a lot of time, just measuring every single proportion and angles. And it took almost about half an hour to complete it, and the result doesn't even look right. And on the left side, when I just use my eyes to measure the whole thing and quickly sketch out the figure, you can see there's more details into it, and the time I only used about 15 minutes. It's a half of the time saved, and it's way more detailed. And the second I wanna say is do not copy or trace. Fail. I think grades are vastly used in those old school art books. There's also tons of videos on TikTok and YouTube where artists who draws great on the canvas. Well, maybe you're already thinking that are you also against that? It's a legit method of painting. How can you go against it? Well, I'm not making an argument on that first of all, but I do disagree with the sake of doing it for copying. Let me explain what I mean. Grade is a useful tool. It is also a good practice to train your eyes to find a precise shape. However, I can argue some people do it just for copying. In that show, the lady doesn't need a grade, especially wasting time when the model has sacrificed their own time posing and copying from 1-to-1 from the photo. That is what I go against for. Not a grade, not a method, the pure misunderstanding of the realism in fine art. Aside from the grading using in some context, the other most obvious copying is people promoting apps and ways to project images to trace. So above all, the arguments I made, what's the method I recommend? Firstly, I want to clarify that you can freely use the grid method or any other add method when you fully understand why you are using it, with all due respect to art. I personally like to fill the shape and proportion with my eyes linked to my hand movements. I know it sounds really vague. The concept is also vastly practiced in classes of fine art. I believe it's called blind drawing practice. The tips I have given can be summarized to one key point, is the use of your eyes and feeling. I just want to say it was a hell lot of time wasted when I'm just trying to align my line drawing with the phone screen. And moving on to my second topic, which is how to master color theory. And all I want to say is color theory is easy. All you need to know is 3 sets of complementary colors. So everyone would tell you about the color wheel, but if you're new to art, well, if you can only remember those 3 sets of complementary color, I can assure you, you can master the color theory under 5 minutes. So those 3 sets of complementary colors are red and green, yellow and purple, orange and blue. But first of all, what is complementary color? Well, by definition, it is 2 colors that contrast themselves in terms of their saturation, their hue. And complementary color can also create different shades of one color, simply said. And moving on to the third part that I want to talk about is how do you add detail? Detail is the easiest way to lie about your painting. Let me explain what I meant. If you aren't really good at finding the most pleasing shape, your drawing looks bad, there's a quickest way to fix it. Just start to catch up on the favorite parts you want to draw. Then all of a sudden, it is a good drawing. Here's my version. And detail is also where you show your personality. So that brings to the end of this video, and I hope you're still here. If you are, I'm really shocked, and if you're writing that your principles are wrong, great, but don't forget to also say your opinion so we can formulate a discussion. Like I said, this video is controversial, but I intend to be in a good way. Anyways, thanks for watching. If you like this kind of videos, please hit a thumbs up, subscribe, and show me out in the comments. Thanks, bye!